Good evening, Dean Davison, Storm Surge LLC lead forecaster and weather manager for the southeastern United States here for a look into the weekend, and we have some serious stuff going on. As you know, Sandy is going to affect Cuba and going up to the Bahamas now. Problem is we're starting to get into the models, short range models. This is a NAM model here. Okay, NAM is I use NAM a lot. NAM's a good model for short range data, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's pulling, it's kind of like GFS, we'll show you both here, and the Euro. But you're going to see stuff here, and it's going to be a little closer up, where we're going to see effects in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states. This will include Roanoke, straight up through the Northeast, and even North Carolina and other places like that, with rain and wind due to a hybrid system between Hurricane Sandy and a nor'easter combining. It's how it phases. There's still a lot of uncertainty into it, but it's becoming a more likely scenario that we will see heavy effects from this system. So definitely stay with liveweatherblogs.com, Geo, and Steve DiMartino's information. We got you guys on lock here. You can see the storm, believe it or not, has very interesting stuff going on here. We're at hour 60 on the NAM. We're going to back it up a little bit. Florida's going to feel some effects. So we're not going to talk about wind and rain. You may even get a landfall out of it in the NAM model. This is a 12Z model. You can see now we're starting to get the effects along the Carolina coast. And this is going to push back as this cold front moves in from the west. These two will combine to be an issue. You see, about 72 hours, we're getting a lot of rain and wind, especially along Blue Ridge Mountains in the east. The storm expands, and we're looking at 974 low, Norfolk, Outer Banks, really getting destroyed here. The wind field's extremely picking up. We're talking about 40 miles an hour and over. And the trough really doesn't dig in yet. Moves closer and closer. By 84 hours on the NAM, we're looking at a storm coming close to New Jersey and starting to really throw the effects. This can be a little different also. The western side of this, because it's not a typical hurricane, may also be have extremely big issues. So we're going to have to watch this very closely. Here's the 12Z GFS. The GFS model also showing this westward progression with the storm coming close to Florida, but then moving away. And the blocking, what's going to happen with the blocking is going to cause a big issue. It's going to pull it in. Alright, being the lock in here. See, this looks like it's moving out, and it retrogrades. I'm not saying this is going to be a perfect head-on, but if this retrogrades like it says it's going to do, we're talking about lots of wind and lots of rain. Philadelphia, New Jersey, all these areas are starting to see some extensive wind and rain. This wind's coming in, rain. We're not going to experience a whole lot Roanoke via the GFS model, but it still could have some interesting aspects coming up here. We pull the Canadian model in. Canadian model takes it up, it increases the wind, much like most other blogs. Canadian also brings this in. We're getting consensus on models. This is the issue where you're seeing if this continues. This is 12Z. This is a decent model run. 6 and 18 are the ones I don't put a lot of emphasis on. I put them on the 00 and the 12, and you can see the CMC still is pulling it inland too, and that's going to cause problems with rain and wind and snow, even in the backside for some of these locations. The Yuki is kind of one of those models that it doesn't get all the way out past 72 hours, but 72 hours still, you're seeing the increased winds along the Carolina coastline. The potential for rain. So Carolina straight up the main. Need to pay attention to this storm very closely. As you can see, nice patch of fog 472, patch of fog in the morning in front of the sun. Friday night's chance to rain. Saturday chance of rain. Sunday chance of rain. Increases on Sunday and Sunday night and Monday. And then turns windy on all these days. Nor'easter / Sandy is the reason why. The Weather Service is picking up on this. and the winds could get up there in the 30+ mile an hour range, probably even 45 or higher mile an hour winds. And that, ladies and gentlemen, from Roanoke, Virginia. Okay, we're talking about now going into New Jersey, Southampton. Rain likely, high winds are expected with this storm. I don't think I would be as, I don't know, pushing as hard as I am now if I didn't have this track to go with. Just left turn on the National Hurricane Center track. That gives me some concern, and that's one of the reasons I'm pushing this a little harder now. One at the beginning, and I wasn't really buying a solution. It was a doomsday solution that I had looked at possibly of sometime happening back in the day. I talked about a lot of New Jersey OEM conferences, but to actually see this on a map is kind of scary. We'll have to see how this all operates and reacts to each other, but everybody needs to keep alert on the storm. Southeast, straight, all the whole East Coast. Just keep an eye on the storm for changes. Because a ton of these models have that northeast hook. Some of them stop here and it should hook in. Kind of sensitive to the models hook in, and if you look at the actual ensemble models here, a lot of them pull. Majority of them go into the East Coast, and one of them goes to Newfoundland. So the ensembles are reading in the same way that the forecast is. Model verification is pretty spot on. So that being said, different models, they've been pretty decent on model verification. So what I'm saying is we really got to keep an eye on what's going to happen here. It's going to be a very bad day for a lot of us coming up this weekend. See, the storm is huge in its outflow, and it's going to get bigger. Wind field expands as it weakens. Remember that. Put an animation for you to show you how this is rolling. It's a big evolving storm. It's going to turn into a monster. And we'll be here at Live Weather Blogs, and the rest of the Storm Surge LLC crew will be here and give you up-to-the-minute information on the storm. So please pay attention to this. If you live anywhere along the East Coast, we greatly appreciate you taking this serious. For Live Weather Blogs, Storm Surge LLC, this is lead forecaster Dean Davison. Have a great day, and make sure you keep an eye on the weather here at liveweatherblogs.com. Have a great evening.